Are you looking for a gentle way to start your day? Welcome to your mat. I'm Hannah, and today's morning practice is designed to really gently wake you up, stretching your body and clearing your mind, preparing you for your day ahead. It's perfect for beginners or anyone just needing a really gentle way to start your day. Phoenix is with you today. She sometimes really struggles to get up too. So for today's practice, we're going to start lying down. You could do this literally from your bed. Maybe you're just going to grab a couple of your pillows, place them underneath your spine. I'm going to use my yoga bolster and a pillow to show you. So I'm going to place my head onto the pillow today, just lowering my spine onto the bolster. The buttocks are not on the bolster or the cushions. And just setting yourself up so that you feel supported and lifted all the way along the length of your spine. And it's as though you're then able to feel this openness through the heart space. And the aim is to try and allow the shoulders to drape back and down. I'm just going to bring the arms a little like Shavasana. I'll choose to bring soles of feet together and the knees wide, Supta Baddha Konasana or butterfly shape, but you might choose long legs or TP, the knees together, lifted. And if you have chosen the butterfly shape, just figure out how far away you want the heels from your hips. Some mornings are particularly harder than others, and if you have got the luxury of just taking things that little bit slower today, then come and join me here, settling in with your breath. Just starting to notice the beginning of your inhales. Starting to notice the middle portion of your inhale and just the tail end of your inhale. And then maybe you notice just that little moment of pause before you do go ahead and exhale. So stay for now with the beginning, the middle, the end of your inhale. And that moment of pause. Keep coming back to beginning, middle, end of your inhale. Moment of pause. You might even say to yourself, beginning, middle, end, pause. And then do the same for your exhalations. Start to really zone in, focus in on the exhalation, the beginning part of that exhale, the middle portion of the exhale, and the tail end of the exhale. And then see if you can stay with your concentration with that little pause at the end of an exhale. So keep coming back to focus on your exhalation, the beginning of it, the middle, the tail end of it, and that moment of pause. Come back to the exhalations. Just try to notice, maybe even simply state to yourself, beginning, middle, end, pause. And now see what it might feel like to start widening the arms and lifting the hands higher. Go to a place where you feel like you could pause for at least a breath or two. And then again, maybe you feel like you could bring the hands even higher. I'm actually going to bring my hands overhead and just take hold of one hand. And again, see if you could stay there for a couple of breaths. If you're finding having the arms risen higher is not available to you, just keep them lower. And then just slowly releasing. I'm just going to roll off to one side here and pause. And then go ahead and remove the pillows that might have been propping you. And I'm just going to bring my bolster over towards my right side. Come onto your back. And we'll head towards a twist here. Go ahead and spread the arms out like cactus plants or stop signs. I quite like to shimmy my hips just a little bit towards the left side first. And then tuck the knees up and in and drop down. I've balanced mine on top of the bolster. You might have a pillow between the knees or underneath, like I've propped my bolster today. If it feels good, you could turn the head the opposite direction, away from the knees. The further the knees are in towards the chest, up towards your shoulders, probably the more intense the twist will feel. So work with what feels right for you this morning. And then I'm going to keep my right knee where it is, balanced on top of my bolster, and then start to bring my left foot back down to the mat. I'm now going to shimmy my hips back to center. So I'm just going to lift my hips and then lengthen my left leg so that it's flat. And then it could be that you readjust that right knee that is open out to the side. I'm just going to do another little shimmy so that I feel somewhat even through my back body, through the weight of my hips. And then I'm going to take hold of that right knee with my right hand and start to draw the right knee in towards my right armpit. It isn't that you're trying to touch it. Maybe you can. But we're seeing if we can start to just draw it in and create a little compression through the front of our right hip and the hip flexors there. And then you could just hold on with one hand, or maybe you gather with both hands and you could start to experiment with a few little sways from side to side with that right knee. And you're just going to a place where you can manage the sensation. It might be that you prefer to just keep the knee out to the side and keep it pretty still. Perhaps you're comfortable enough drawing that knee side to side there. And you might notice the back body getting a little bit of a massage. If you are doing this in bed, you'll get much less feedback. Because I'm on the floor, I'm getting feedback from the harder surface in the glutes, in the lower back, on that right side. All right, and then just let that right leg go and release. Take a moment, pause between the two sides and just notice what you notice in terms of sensation. Mini Shavasana, or a moment to rebound. And then we'll bring our pillow or bolster over to the left side. I'm going to cactus plant my elbows out to the side. I'm going to start by bringing soles of feet to the earth, and I quite like to shimmy my hips just an inch towards the right side first, and then I'm going to draw my knees over to the left side. I'm using a prop underneath the knees. You might bring one between the knees. And again, you might explore bringing the knees up closer towards your chest, towards the shoulder. And if it feels okay, you could also turn your head the opposite direction away from your knees. Remember that these are all just suggestions. You don't have to always follow every cue. You might try something out and pull back or add on. I'm bringing my head back to center, and then I'm going to reach, or first of all, place my right foot to the mat, and then I'm going to press down and just lift the hips so that I attempt to bring more stability through my hip bones and sit bones on the ground, through the pelvis, and then extend the right leg. If possible, try to avoid that right hip being twisted and lifted over to the left side too much at this point. It might be that you need to rearrange the buttocks on the mat or the mattress, feeling a sense of evenness and groundedness through the pelvis. And then I'm going to use my left hand to gently gather my left knee in a little bit more towards my chest. And I'm going to think about trying to draw that left knee as though I'm trying to bring it in towards my left armpit. You're welcome to gather with both hands in time and explore a little sway of that leg side to side there. I'm keeping the knee tucked in quite close towards me. You might find that that's too much sensation. So feel free to have the knee a lot further away from you as well. And then we'll go ahead and lengthen again through both of those legs. And just take a pause, a little mini Shavasana. A moment to rebound and just feel into a sense of letting go and releasing. And then we're going to just roll onto our bellies. And once you're onto your belly, bring the forearms to the earth and prop your heart upwards, taking about 5 breaths in Sphinx. If you find any pinching or discomfort in the lower back, lower yourself by widening the elbows a little more. If you can, for now, keep the head upright. Perhaps close the eyes or lower the gaze. Just a couple more steady breaths here. And then I invite you to soften down and relatively soon head towards child's pose. Widen the knees today. Bring the big toes towards one another and maybe prop the forehead with the back of your hands. Create lots of lovely room between the thighs for the belly to expand and release, and encourage the belly to expand and release. Not only the front body will expand with the breath, but perhaps you could also get into the side waist and the back body too.
Feel a sense of expansion with each round of breath. One more here. And then slowly I invite you to come all the way up to kneeling. So we're going to head towards a toe squat. Once we're lifted, just check in with the little toes and see if you can keep those toes tucked. You might actually use your hands to help you. So just checking in. Some of us have very different shaped toes. If possible, try to keep the heels somewhat closer together, but if that's to the detriment of your big toe, just go with care, with ease. And you can always come up sooner if you need to, or bow further forwards. You can even prop yourself to take some of the load off as well. I'm gonna see if I can stay here for another 4 breaths. Perhaps you'd like to join me. I attempt to smile through this pose. It's like hitting your funny bone. It ain't that funny, but you still sort of make a face. So see if we can turn whatever that face you want to turn it into a smile. Just another 2 breaths. Well done. And then I'm going to bow forwards, bring the hands down, and do a little tap out with those toes. And then let's head towards some cat-cows here. Lowering the belly, lifting the heart as you inhale, sit bones rise, and then rounding out as you exhale. And you might like to do that with the rhythm of your own breath now. Perhaps you close the eyes, and I might suggest that you actually open the mouth now and exhale that breath away. Three more rounds, energizing yourself with each round of breath and movement with the breath. Come back to a neutral spine, and then see if you can step your right foot forwards next to your right hand. Bring your hands down firmly, tuck the back toes, and then lift the hips as high as you need. Maybe hop the back foot in, and then bring left foot outside of your left hand and squat down. Perhaps at this point you can bring palms together, knees wide. You might be lifted up a little bit on those toes. You might have to support yourself. If you are on your bed at this point, I invite you to drop your hips and then just bring your feet to the earth. If you are on the ground, go ahead and bow forwards. Walk the feet a little closer together. Keep the knees bent and begin to roll your way up to stand. Everybody come to join, standing. Plant the feet a good hip width apart. Bring the arms gently beside the body and purposefully spread the fingers and turn the thumbs slightly out so that the palms face a little more forwards. Feel a sense of upward lifting through the crown of your head and a sense of openness through the collarbones. May I invite you to keep your eyes open but steady and still, just taking in the periphery and your surroundings, but not particularly focusing onto anything at all. I invite you to just be with the breath once more, noticing the breath entering the body, noticing the breath leave the body. If you would like to bring palms together, thumbs lightly to touch
at heart center. And at this point, sending in a little well wish towards yourself so that you can take the energy you've cultivated on your mat today into the rest of your day in a meaningful way.
Thank you for watching this video, and I hope you enjoyed it. Please don't forget to like it below, subscribe to my channel, and hit the bell icon. Not only will this keep you up to date with my offerings, but will keep content like Tula being free and accessible to all.